Hello everyone, hope you're doing great. Let us understand article number 14, that is the right to equality. Article 14, equality before law and equal protection of laws. Article 14 says that the state shall not deny to any person quality before law or equal protection of laws within the territory of India. This provision confers rights to on all persons, whether citizens or foreigners. Moreover, the word person includes legal person, that is statutory corporations, companies, registered societies, or any other type of legal person. The concept equality before law is of British origin, while the concept equal protection of laws has been taken from the American Constitution. The first concept connotes the absence of any special privileges in favor of any person, and B, the equal subjugation of all persons to the ordinary law of the land administered by ordinary law courts, and C, no person, whether rich or poor, high or low, official or non-official, is above the law. The second concept, that is the equal protection of law, notes A, the equality of treatment under the equal circumstances, both in privileges conferred and liabilities imposed by the laws. B, the similar application of same laws to all persons who are similarly situated. C, the like should be treated alike without any discrimination. Thus, the former is a negative concept, while the latter, that is equal protection of laws, is a positive concept. However, both of them aim at establishing equality of legal status, opportunity, and justice. The Supreme Court held that where equals and unequals are treated differently, Article 14 does not apply. Article 14 forbids class legislation. It permits reasonable classification of persons, objects, and transactions by the law. But the classification should not be arbitrary, artificial, or evasive. Rather, should be based on intelligible, differential, and substantial distinction. Rule of law. The concept of equality before law is an element of the concept of rule of law, propounded by A.V. Dicey, by the British jurist. His concept has the following three elements or aspects. Absence of arbitrary power, that is, no man can be punished except for breach of law. Equality before the law, that is, equal subjection of all citizens, rich, poor, high or low, official or non-official, to the ordinary law of the land administered by ordinary law courts. Third, the primacy of rights of the individual, that is, constitution is the result of the rights of the individual as defined and enforced by the courts of law rather than the constitution being the source of the individual rights. The first and the second elements are applicable to the Indian system and not the third one. In the Indian system, the constitution is the source of the individual rights. The Supreme Court held that the rule of law as embodied in Article 14 is the basic feature of the Constitution, hence it cannot be destroyed even by an amendment. Exceptions to equality. The rule of equality before law is not absolute and there are constitutional and other exceptions to it. These are mentioned below. The President of India and the Governor of States enjoy the following immunities under Article 361. The President and the Governor is not answerable to any court for the exercise and performance of the powers and duties of his office. No criminal proceedings shall be instituted or continued against the President or the Governor in any court during his term of office. No process for the arrest or imprisonment of the President or the Governor shall be issued from any court during his term of office. No civil proceedings against the President or the Governor shall be instituted during his term of office in any court in respect of any act done by him in his personal capacity, whether before or after he entered upon his office, until the expiration of 2 months next after notice has been delivered to him. No person shall be liable to any civil or criminal proceedings in any court in respect of the publication of in a newspaper or by the radio or television of a substantially true report of any proceedings of either House of the Parliament or either House of Legislature of State. Article 361A. No member of Parliament shall be liable to any proceedings in any court in respect of anything said or any vote given by him in Parliament or any committee thereof. Article 105. No member of the legislature of state shall be liable to any proceedings in any court in any respect of anything said or any vote given by him in the legislature or any committee thereof. Article 194. Article 31C is an exception to Article 14. It provides that the laws made by the state for implementing the directive principles contained in Clause B or Clause C of Article 39 cannot be challenged on the grounds that they are violative of Article 14. The Supreme Court held that where Article 31C comes in, Article 14 goes out. The foreign sovereigns, rulers, ambassadors, diplomats enjoy immunity from criminal and civil proceedings. The UNO and its agencies enjoy the diplomatic immunity. Let us look at Article 15, Prohibition of Discrimination on Certain Grounds. Article 15 provides that the state shall not discriminate any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. The two crucial words in the provision are discrimination and only. The word discrimination means to make an adverse distinction with regard to or to distinguish unfavorably from others. The use of the word only connotes the discrimination on other grounds is not prohibited. The second provision made in Article 15 says that no citizen shall be subjected to any disability, liability, restriction, or condition on the grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth with regard to a. Access to shops, public restaurants, hotels, and place of public entertainment. B. The use of wells, tanks, bathing ghats, and places of public resort maintained wholly or partly by state funds or dedicated to the use of general public. This provision prohibits discrimination both by the state and the private individuals, while the former provision prohibits discrimination only by the state. There are three exemptions to this general rule of non-discrimination. The state is permitted to make any special provision for women and children, for example, reservation for seats of women in local bodies or provision of free education for children. That comes under Article 15, Clause 3. The state is permitted to make any special provision for advancement of any socially or educationally backward classes of citizens for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. For example, reservation of seats for fee concessions in public educational institutions. Part C tells us that the state is empowered to make any social provision for the advancement of any socially and educationally backward classes of citizens or for scheduled castes or scheduled tribes regarding their admission to educational institution, including private educational institution, whether aided or unaided by the state, except the minority educational institutions. The last provision was added by the 93rd Amendment Act 2005. In order to give effect to this provision, the Centre enacted the Central Educational Institutions Act 2006, providing quota to 27% of the candidates belonging to OBCs in all central higher educational institutions, including the IITs and the IIMs. In April 2008, the Supreme Court upheld the validity of both the Amendment Act and OBC Quota Act, but the court directed the central government to exclude the creamy layer, that is advanced sections, among the OBCs while implementing the law. Creamy layer. The children of the following different categories of people belong to the creamy layer among OBCs and thus will not get the quota benefits. Persons holding constitutional posts like the President, Vice President, Judge of Supreme Court and High Court, Chairman and members of UPSC and SPSCs, CEC, CAG and so on. Group A or Class 1 and Group B or Class 2 officers of All India Central and State Services, and employees holding equivalent posts in PSUs, banks, insurance organizations, universities, etc., and also in private employment. Persons who are in the rank of colonel and above in the army and equivalent post in the navy and the air force and paramilitary forces. Professionals like doctors, lawyers, engineers, artists, authors, consultants, and so on. Persons engaged in trade, business, and industry. People holding agricultural land above a certain limit and vacant land or buildings in the urban areas. persons having gross annual income of more than 6 lakh or possessing wealth above the exemption limit. In 1993, when the creamy layer ceiling was introduced, it was 1 lakh. It was subsequently revised to 2.5 lakh in 2004, 4.5 lakh in 2008, and 6 lakh in 2013. Thank you everyone for tuning in. In the next lecture, we will understand Article 16 of the Fundamental Rights, that is equality of opportunity in public employment. Hope you do well and all the best for the exams.